As a YouTuber, one of my biggest inspirations are all the weird nooks and crannies that exist on this website. I love looking into stuff like creepy videos with no views, deep YouTube, the weird stuff on YouTube Kids. I feel like finding the dark sides of a platform that you interact with every day is always an interesting concept. So when I decided to cover YouTube Shorts, I expected it would go much like my other videos exploring the other facets of YouTube. I was expecting to find some creepy, unexplained videos, some strange accounts that might end up being ARGs or art projects, and maybe the odd mystery. But what I found instead completely subverted my expectations. It was honestly a little shocking. I had heard that AI was becoming an increasingly big problem on YouTube. In fact, YouTube even recently implemented some changes to their monetization guidelines to address the problem of AI content on this platform. But speaking as somebody who basically exclusively watches long-form videos, I was expecting this change to be because of trends like QCat AI or all the AI creepypasta narration channels. Little did I know, the problem of AI slop on YouTube is very much centered around YouTube Shorts. When I first loaded it up and started scrolling, I was expecting to see the same sort of content that I saw on TikTok back when I did a video about that platform. But what I saw instead was an endless barrage of AI-generated junk. Don't get me wrong, the visuals in the videos themselves very often weren't AI-generated, but the narrations and the scripts very obviously were. And I don't mean like an odd AI-generated video within a sea of legit content. No, I mean the majority of videos I came across on YouTube Shorts were AI slop. Almost every clip I scrolled on followed the exact same weird format, with the same uncanny awkward voiceovers and overly stimulating brainrot editing. These videos often get surprisingly esoteric and surreal, not just in their strange visuals and storylines, but also the weird trends they all seem to follow, which I guess kind of fits in with the theme of my channel. But the main point I want to focus on today is the downfall of this section of YouTube, or as I like to call it, the AI apocalypse of YouTube Shorts. But why is this happening? Why are so many accounts making these strange videos, and why does this only seem to be happening on YouTube and not on TikTok or Instagram? To answer those questions, and we are going to answer them, we've got to start at the beginning. When YouTube Shorts first launched in 2020, it wasn't exactly a passion project from anybody at Google, but rather a feature that the company was pretty much forced to implement. TikTok had been exploding in popularity, and it was clear short-form vertical content that you could just mindlessly scroll through on your phone just may be the future of online video. Every other major player in the social media space would also implement some sort of short-form content section on their platform. Even Reddit now lets you scroll through videos in the same manner as TikTok. With YouTube being the video platform on the internet, it was no surprise that they too would eventually become part of this new online video paradigm. For the first few years of its existence, the content on YouTube Shorts didn't really differ very much from the other short-form video platforms it was competing with. The only real difference was that YouTubers would often make shorts specifically to advertise their long-form content, which was a trend that was obviously much more pronounced on YouTube than any other platform. Another interesting unique quality on YouTube Shorts was that all vertical videos uploaded to YouTube at any point in time that were less than 3 minutes long were automatically converted into shorts in November 2024. Meaning you can scroll past shorts on YouTube that date all the way back to 2011, making the back catalog on this platform much older than its competitors. In the last year or so though, a new trend began picking up steam on YouTube Shorts. Not one that was necessarily unique to the platform, but one that definitely appears to be much more prominent on Shorts in particular compared to every other short-form video app. AI-generated slop. Now when I say that, I don't necessarily mean completely AI-generated videos or slideshows of AI-generated images. Those definitely are there as well, but I'm talking about something that's a little more subtle and hard to notice. Like I said earlier, I never really got into watching short-form content personally, so when I decided to research a video about horror on YouTube Shorts, my plan was to go in with a fresh account and start scrolling until I find some interesting stuff. This sort of blind research usually takes a while to do, and I was ready to dedicate a significant amount of time to it, but I almost immediately began to notice a trend. It seemed like every video I scrolled past showed some clip that can only be described as a sort of internet highlight, like this sort of thing you would see while scrolling through Instagram or Twitter. Just random, vaguely interesting clips with some sort of mass appeal to them. All of these videos will be accompanied by awkward but well-recorded dialogue explaining what was happening, with extremely stimulating editing, complete with subtitles, sound effects, and clip transitions flying by seemingly every few seconds. While a little stilted, the narration would always explain what was going on in the clip in a way that was obviously trying to keep the user watching, usually alluding to something intriguing that was about to happen in the clip. And then, the videos would often just kind of stop. Sometimes something interesting would happen and then the video would end immediately after without having any sort of resolution. It's a little hard to describe, so I'm just going to show you an example.
This dad made the biggest mistake ever because when he challenged his track athlete son to a race and was confident that he still had it, he didn't realize dad's strength doesn't apply to running. Just wait till you see what happens.
So that video is 14 seconds long. 12 seconds is spent setting up the situation for the viewer, acting as a sort of introduction and not really anything more. A grand 2 seconds at the very end is spent rewarding the viewer with the payoff, and the clip just kind of ends during it. Many of the details described in the intro, like how it was a race between a father and son and how that son was a track athlete, are essentially unnecessary details that are irrelevant to what actually happens in the video. And on top of that, the overall narration doesn't even seem to be describing what's really happening in the clip. The narrator says that it's a race between a dad and his son, but only his dad runs with the sons cheering him on. It's clearly not a race. And in an older upload of the same clip that I found on a different channel, minus the bad narration and brainrot editing, we can see that this is described as a dad failing when trying to do a long jump, which is a much more sensible description for this video that's completely different than the brainrot remix of it. It made me wonder, why would somebody take this video and just make a worse version of it, with an added dose of dishonesty on top of that? I mean, can you believe that somebody would just lie on the internet like that? The account that posted that video is called Snap, and they have many other uploads, all of which are just videos farmed from other parts of the internet with bad editing and lazy narration. That dialogue, by the way, while it may sound real, is actually generated with AI, specifically with a service called 11 Labs, but we'll get more into how these videos are made in a little bit. Every clip here is basically the same. There's always an overly elaborate setup, often with irrelevant details, and the payoff to that setup is always unsatisfying. While in the first video we talked about, something did happen at the end of it, sometimes nothing happens and the video is just completely pointless. I'm not kidding. Like, look at this video for example.
This girl was just a few inches away from winning the championship, but then stumbles over the cones and is quickly losing her lead. But what she did next was absolutely crazy.
The video is obviously trying to show you how this track athlete tripped but was able to recover and somersault over the finish line, but they show that happening 3 times while alluding to something more that's supposedly gonna happen, but nothing does, and they just show the same clip for a 4th time and then the video ends abruptly. This sort of editing and writing style is engaging, but when you don't leave the viewer with a resolution for the scenario you use as a hook, they just leave the video feeling teased and dissatisfied. And that was the general feeling I had while using YouTube Shorts, because believe me, it wasn't just this account posting videos like this, not by a long shot. I was shocked by the sheer volume of AI narrated slop I found on Shorts. It seemed like every second video I came across was one of these unsatisfying clips, and I was able to make a list of 30 accounts that were posting stuff like this in only 10 minutes of scrolling, and no doubt I could increase the length of that list exponentially if I were to spend more time looking. While Snap mainly focused on videos of sports and other kinds of physical activities, the range of content you could find in these AI farming accounts is practically endless and reaches across just about every genre and niche you can think of. Of course, the most common theme though is that Mr. Beast genre of content. You know, videos that don't really have a specific style, just stuff that's purely crafted to succeed in the algorithm while literally taking nothing else into account. Like this video.
When this guy decided to start tidying up his garage, he went totally overboard with the soap. Before long, the entire space was packed with thick foam. At one point, when he tried handing his friend a beer, he had to rely on memory just to find the fridge. But how did he even do that?
This one is so unsatisfying that it even seems to cut off at the end. Like there was supposed to be more of the video, but it just ends in the middle of it. You'll also notice in this one that it says, "Don't click the sound" in the description. This is another trend you're going to notice in these videos. The descriptions often say that. I'm pretty sure the reasoning here is that when you do click the sound, it just redirects to another video. In the case of the soap clip, clicking the sound leads to the following video.
When this girl showed up to the burger joint, she found out she could get one for free if she could beat the waitress in a simple game. All she had was a straw and a deep breath, but something felt off because the fish, let's just say she wasn't playing fair. And just like that, this girl walked out with a free burger.
If this stuff is starting to appear a little surreal to you, don't worry, you're not alone. This video doesn't make any sense at all. For one thing, the arrow at the beginning is pointing to the wrong person, and the story of course devolves more and more into nonsense as it goes on for its brief 15-second run. Many of these shorts are just like this. The editing and the narration often don't match up to the original clip, but in an odd way, it almost makes them unintentionally entertaining just because of how weird they are. Take this video for example. Based on the thumbnail and the description, you would assume that it's just a towel getting squeezed out in an oddly satisfying manner and nothing more, right? I mean, what context is even needed for a video like this? Let's find out.
Whenever this wife has dried herself off after showering, her towel always needed ages to get dry again, so that her husband one day built an own drying machine for her at home, which turned out to be so satisfying that the wife thought she should start her own company and sell it to the masses, while letting the husband do all the work for her. But unexpectedly, when she started, she got away with less than 2 sales and 0 likes.
Believe it or not, these videos get even more surreal and weird than this. After scrolling past quite a few AI narrated shorts, I finally stumbled across some horror content, discovering a channel called Mr. Gen Mind, where I was greeted with a whole new level of brain rot. As AVGN once said, we're turning up the diarrhea dial. I'm not really sure where to start here, so I'm just going to show you a full video and then we'll talk about it.
If you ever see this thing in a random place, do not go near it.
Bro, it looked creepy. What could possibly go wrong?
I'll tell you, but first, if you think this little puppy is adorable, like and subscribe. People were freaking out. Why is this doll just hanging from a tree? But here's the twist. This isn't what you think. It's not haunted. It's just Halloween decoration.
Let's analyze this to find out the actual content that exists in this video. For 4 seconds, we're shown a clip of a doll hanging from a tree. This is, in essence, the meat of the video. For the next 10 seconds, we're shown things that are irrelevant to that setup, like a cat commenting on what the narrator said in the intro, and a fluffy Pomeranian that has no relevance at all. After the call to subscribe to the channel, we're met with more video of the doll, and even more setup from the narrator. We've spent a good 20 seconds now building up the suspense as to what this scary doll might be. And in the final 2 seconds of the video, we're told it's just a Halloween decoration, which almost feels intentionally annoying at this point. The format of this video in particular is more bizarre than anything else we've talked about today, with animal commentators reacting to the videos with wacky voices. You might think that this is a characteristic feature of this channel in particular, but believe it or not, this is actually a trend that spans across multiple channels. A different account called Niche Makael also makes videos that are exactly the same as Mr. Gen Mind, except with even more brain rot. Because yes, we can in fact inject even more brain rot into these shorts. Take a look.
If you ever see this creature on the side of the road, don't get close, because what you see is just the beginning.
Bro, doesn't even look that big. Are you lying to me?
But before I explain, if you think my dog is adorable, like and subscribe. Now look at this poor dog, thrown into the trash like garbage. He's crying for help. And if not for a passing stranger, he might not have made it. If you're a kind person, leave a heart and sad emoji in the comments. May God punish the people who did this, and bless those who rescued him. Now back to the
Yeah, you don't need to see the ending here. You already know it's not going to amount to anything. The shorts on this channel are so surreal, they actually really resemble those Adult Swim infomercials we were talking about in my last video about overnight TV. Those specials would have short segments that transition into a completely different topic every couple of minutes. Niche Makael shorts do the same thing, transitioning from a hook featuring a creepy image and scenario, into a cat commenting on the scene, into a cute dog asking you to subscribe, into a sick dog that needs help who's also asking viewers to comment emojis, all on a video that began with a terrifying horror movie creature rising from a sewer. I can't imagine who the average viewer of a channel like this is. Is it just an extremely high person drooling while staring at their screen? Is it just an iPad kid who has no idea what they're watching? Maybe, but neither of those groups are the core audience for this sort of content. To really nail down this demographic, we're going to look at another much larger channel. This one is called Hublot Baggins, and it has a whopping 4.8 million subscribers, with most of their uploads getting north of 1 million views, and their most popular video holding an insane 192 million views. The content here is based around animals. These videos either just show you some casual cute pet videos, or they show you a heartwarming story about how a poor neglected animal was saved in some way. The narration is the same AI voice, complete with the awkward inflections and grammatical errors typical of this AI genre, and the videos often cut off in the same unpleasant way. But the general format of this channel, and more importantly, the comments section, really gives me an idea of the sort of people who regularly watch content like this. I'll give you an example to explain what I mean. This video is about how everybody was ignoring this sweet and cute otter until a passerby paid him some attention and made his day. Every comment here mostly just says how the otter is cute, accompanied with a ton of emojis. The subject matter of this video, combined with how the comments are written, really reminds me of AI content on Facebook, which I covered in a video last year. To summarize that video, AI content on Facebook usually presents you with an AI-generated image accompanied with an emotional story. The comment section of those posts are typically made up of people who are new to or just unfamiliar with the internet and social media, and thus they get baited into engaging with low-quality content because they just don't know any better. I firmly believe that these sorts of internet users are the main audience for AI slop on YouTube Shorts, people who are inexperienced in some way with social media and thus can't tell real content from fake content. While these sorts of animal videos are probably intended for older people who are new to the internet, there are also channels out there who are specifically marketed towards kids who are just as freshly online, like Blake's Style. Blake has 1.5 million subs, and when you look at the thumbnails of his videos, they almost all depict wide-angle point-of-view shots of playground equipment. The videos, though, are not talking about play structures. It's probably better if I just show you.
If you pass by this big tree area and you see this, run away. It is not an ordinary creature, but a demon. I will show you the video. But first, hit the like and subscribe button below if you love your mom and your dad. So, this man came home from work late at night and came across this scary creature. The big tree is said to have many demons at night, making the man traumatized and no longer coming home late at night. This could happen to you, your friends, and your family too. Trust me, buddy, you never want this happen to them, right? So send this video to your friends and family to warn them about this. Are you ready? So, here is the video.
I think this might actually be the lowest quality content we've come across today. For a whopping 40 seconds, we're set up with some dumb surreal story that doesn't make any sense, accompanied by a looping playground parkour video, and then the payoff is a 5-second AI generated clip. Every single upload on this channel follows this format, and while this particular video might have less than 10,000 views, many of Blake Style's uploads have millions of views and are all essentially the same as the one we just watched. While AI content on Facebook is generally hyper-focused around the demographics they can take advantage of, like old people and new internet users from the third world, the user base of YouTube is much more varied than Facebook's, and thus you can find AI slop infecting any YouTube niche that may appeal to new YouTube users. Like AI Jesus stuff, that was a trend on Facebook and it's here on full force on YouTube as well. Like this video that shows AI Jesus getting absolutely rocked by a sucker punch. Can't we just leave the poor guy alone already? You might also notice there's a microscopic guy in the corner reacting to the video, and the comments are identical to the sorts of interactions you would see on Facebook AI Jesus content, mostly consisting of people saying amen and nothing else. I think weirdest of all is this cat video, which describes how a cat that was being bullied by his brother managed to turn his sibling into a cat worm.
White Cat focused all his power and turned his rebellious older brother into an impotent and useless catworm. He was then rendered docile, and the two pets could finally
this
coexist.
seems kind of familiar. Yeah, so we made this video using some of the same techniques as the people who make AI slop for YouTube Shorts. It's actually easier to do than you might think. And by the way, if you want to see our brainrot masterpiece in its entirety, you can check it out on our TikTok, which we just launched. To make this video, we wrote a short script and put it through an app called 11 Labs, which can convert written text into a realistic sounding narration. We then found some cat videos in our camera rolls, and then we put the final product together in CapCut, a mobile video editor made by the same company that runs TikTok. Now while that's a similar process, AI junk on YouTube Shorts is actually even easier to make than this. So easy in fact that we're gonna make one together right now. First we just need to find a clip on TikTok that will work. After scrolling for about a minute, I came across this video of a dog smiling. I screen recorded it and cropped out the TikTok UI in the Photos app. Then I found an AI script prompt on the YouTubers subreddit, the place that's always giving great advice like this, and I plugged that into Bing to get a short script about how a dog made my day by smiling at me. I copied that and put it into 11 Labs to get a voiceover, and then put both the video and audio into CapCut. The audio was longer than the video, so I just made some parts loop with some rocking transitions and sound effects. And only 8 minutes after screen recording that TikTok, we had a short ready to post to YouTube. Now I realized after I did this I forgot to add those auto captions all these videos have, but not to worry, that only took me an extra minute or so to add in and re-render. Now I didn't figure this process out on my own. And the place I learned how to do it is also going to explain why this junk content is so rampant on YouTube Shorts. Since the dawn of the internet, one thought has invaded the minds of many, many people. How can I use this technology to make money without doing much work? People have answered this question in many ways, from running straight up scams like fake tech support, or less straight up scams like that new crypto coin that's gonna revolutionize finance. There are even scams out there that prey on this desire to make easy money online, promising people relaxed work from home jobs and then stealing their identity. But the latest craze that's going around in the sort of scammy internet money making space is AI YouTube Shorts. If you type in AI YouTube Shorts in the YouTube search bar and hit enter, you'll be bombarded with a ton of videos describing how creators made channels from scratch that blew up and are making them a lot of passive income. Of course, these people aren't just going to tell you about their success, they're going to tell you some of how they did it. The most important knowledge though is locked behind their premium courses that you'll need to buy. These tutorials essentially teach you how you too can make a ton of money by clipping content from other social media platforms and transforming it into AI slop. And they all outline the basic process we just used to make those 2 brainrot shorts. This sort of get rich quick on YouTube content falls at the intersection of 2 other niches, one of them being the AI finance niche, which is a group of people who find ways to generate content using AI to make money online, and also the YouTube metagame niche, which is a subsection of creators who make tutorials about how to grow your YouTube channel. I am really not a fan of this YouTube meta content in particular. They always treat YouTube purely as a game of hitting certain statistics while often completely ignoring the art form of video creation itself, which is kind of important. In my mind, success on this platform is really as simple as consistently making good content that other people want to watch. You don't need to worry about taking advantage of cutting-edge AI tools or copying MrBeast just because some so-called YouTube guru told you to. I got a little off track there, but the point is, there's an entire community on the internet that's completely centered around making AI YouTube Shorts channels purely to make money. Making a channel like this is no different than somebody launching a crypto coin. It's just become another online get-rich-quick scheme. The comments on these tutorials are filled with people spouting motivational self-help nonsense about how they're gonna manifest their success and how we're all gonna make it in 2025, which is the same sort of drivel you'll see in other get-rich-quick communities online. Almost every weird trend you'll see in these AI videos are because of how the people making them are only concerned about getting views and not about making good content. The way they cut off in an annoying way at the end, that's because ending the video at the climax rather than after increases the percentage of your average view duration, which is also why these videos all tend to just kinda lead you on and then finish without any kind of payoff. The awkward calls to like and subscribe using emotional methods like showing cute animals or guilting the viewer, that's because these creators aren't concerned about their audience's enjoyment. They just want to strong-arm people into interacting with their trash. These AI videos are a result of non-creative people trying to use YouTube as nothing more than a money printer, which is just kind of sad to me. YouTube can be very lucrative, but what's the point of doing it if you don't care about what you're making? Sure, it's always fun to see the numbers go up in your YouTube Studio app, but part of that fun is because I'm excited to share something cool I made with other people. If I was just knowingly making garbage that people watch but didn't actually like, I wouldn't feel any passion for this and YouTube would just kind of become the same slog through the day that a 9-to-5 job is. By the way, we still didn't answer why this AI content is mostly a YouTube problem and not so much an Instagram or TikTok problem. Well, that's because YouTube just pays more than those platforms. In this survey from 2024, a cross-section of different online creators most commonly said that YouTube was a platform that earned them the most money. Whether or not there's hard evidence to back that up doesn't matter, because YouTube has a reputation for being the highest paid platform, and thus, that's where these short-form junk creators tend to focus their efforts. Starting on July 15th, YouTube changed some of their monetization policy to better catch people who are just uploading garbage AI content, which has always actually been against the rules of the YouTube Partner Program. While hopefully these changes will disincentivize people to make content like this, I unfortunately remain a bit skeptical. There's not really a lot YouTube can actually do to automatically flag these videos. How is YouTube supposed to know if a video is ripped from another platform and has an AI voiceover? Sure, I have no doubt they'll be able to catch people who are just reusing the same narration for multiple videos, like Blake's style, but that's also really easy to get around. It would take less than a minute to ask ChatGPT or Bing to rephrase a script and then plug it back into 11 Labs. And then bam, completely new voiceover that won't be picked up by YouTube's automatic content moderation system. The only way I can see YouTube consistently being able to stop this problem would be if they found a way to somehow detect an AI voiceover and then flag it. But that would harm people who are using AI voiceovers in their legitimate content. Not that I necessarily condone that. And for that reason, even if it were possible, I don't think YouTube will ever do it. And as such, I expect this problem to continue until YouTube starts putting in massive amounts of actual manpower into manually sifting through channels to separate the junk creators from the rest, which is not something I'm gonna hold my breath for. This video was a little disappointing to make. I was actually hoping to find some cool stuff on YouTube Shorts to be able to share with you guys, but the AI stuff was just so noisy and prevalent that I couldn't really ignore it. Maybe someday I'll return and find some other way to sift through shorts. If you have any interesting leads you want me to look into, make sure to leave it below in a comment and I'll be sure to check it out. But until then guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great night.